everyone, SimsEclaire here and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video we are doing part 1 of our Carriage spa resort. So this is going to be, as I said, this is part 1. So the part 1 that we're watching right now is going to be the exterior of the spa, and then part 2, which will be up on Wednesday, is going to be the interior. Now as you can see, the videos aren't that long, so I probably could have left it as one video, but because of time restraints, the fact that I could split it into 2 meant I didn't have to do 4 builds for the week. I could only do I could end up doing 3, and I also thought that it would be, I don't know, I didn't want to smush it all into one video because the 2 videos together, as the way I cut them down now, would be 40 minutes ish, and I didn't want to cut that down even more to get it into like a 25-minute video because I thought that it would, I had a lot of fun building this build, so I didn't want to cut it down and take out too much of the process and then leave it. You know, I wanted to share it with you, share my joy of building this with you guys, because I have never built a spa before. I've always been super intimidated by it because they're always so big and they're so modern and it's not really my style. But because we're doing this no traditional houses thing for a little bit because of how many houses I built into October, I wanted to kind of finish that off with a bang and do something really big and something I've always wanted to try to do. So that is why I decided to do the spa and why I split it into 2. So I hope you guys don't mind. I do think that the 2 videos flow together rather nicely and work split up into 2. Almost, I think that they work better split into 2. So yeah, I hope you guys don't mind. But so the shape of the build came together rather quickly, and we have this rather large U-ish shape of a building. It's not completely a U shape because the right side doesn't go out as far as the left side does, but there is a pool at the back to kind of make up for that. And then there's like a little courtyard area, so you can see why I have this outdoor walkway at the top. Right behind that is a fountain, which you're gonna see me build. It's probably one of my favorite parts of this whole build because I do really like how I ended up working it. It makes it look as though there's like a bridge going over the water, so you'll see that kind of a little bit later in the build. But right now we're kind of just picking out the colors and the roofing. So I was really hoping at this point that I would have platforms. I thought maybe, you know, Christmas Miracle in November, they were going to give us the platforms early because I really wanted to use the platforms for this roof, but alas, they did not. So I went ahead and used the half walls, and I think it turned out pretty good actually. I don't usually do modern builds, so having these half wall roofs, and then on top of that I have them like jutting out from the sides, like they're not completely in line with the top of the building. That was something new that I hadn't done before, so I think it turned out pretty good. And I'm using a mix of black, gray, white, and brown. Now the brown wood you don't really see because I do end up putting windows across that whole building, that whole section, but I thought that it kind of just broke up the consistency a little bit because all of the other rooms are like brick or tile and they're all like monochrome, so I thought having that wood texture broke it up just enough. And then I used the Eco Lifestyle wallpaper that has the stone at the bottom of it, so it's not too much wood. I think it's just the right amount to where it gives it just a nice little break. And then we're going in and picking out some of the windows. So I use a lot of Eco Lifestyle windows and doors in this build, and then I also use some Discovery University ones because I wanted the bottom windows to not be those large and in charge. No, I didn't want them to be those large, like just all glass windows for the entire building because I don't always like it because I'm guilty of doing it myself. I don't always like it when I do that because it just doesn't give a whole lot of variety to the build. So I wanted to go ahead and try and use some of the different modern windows that we have, and these Discovery University ones worked really well. Now I do end up only using them on like the front side of the building. Once I get to the back where all of the decoration is with the fountains and everything, I do flip back over to using the Eco Lifestyle ones that take up the whole wall, and that's just because I wanted people to be able to see through into all the features that I put into the outside. So we'll see that when we get around back, but right now I'm using those garden path stones and I'm just creating a little walkway with some pebbles underneath to get to the front door. And I do end up doing 2 walkways. You'll see me build the second one here in a minute. I decided to do 2 doors because I didn't know what else to put here, and in the reference picture I was using there was actually 2 doors, but funny enough, the reference picture I was using was not for a spa, it was for an animal hospital. So it was, which I thought was a little weird, because why would you need an animal hospital this big and luxurious and modern? But whatever, to each their own. So I did put another door here because it was in the reference picture and I couldn't figure out on my own something to put there that would make sense. So I just decided to do a separate door, and I figured that it could be a separate entrance. Like, I figured if you didn't have a subscription, not a subscription, but a membership here to the spa, you would go in through the front with the reception desk and like check in as like a guest or something. But if you did have a membership, you could just like come in through this side door and like scan your card, and then they would let you in. So that was kind of my thinking. And then going over here, we are using those eco lifestyle decoration pieces. I never really use these because they're so big, and I never have a spot to put them, especially inside of a house. So I was really happy that I got to use them, and I think that they also kind of break it up a little bit. They bring over some of the warm brown tones from the left side of the building over onto the right side, and it's not just straight windows now. You have some of these nice feature pieces. So I thought that I could toot my own horn on that one with how well that those turned out. And then I just placed some signage up, put one of the spa signs, and then I believe that other sign that I chose is from Get to Work. It's supposed to be for a restaurant, but you can't read it anyway because it's in Simlish, so I didn't really think that it mattered. And then right now I believe I'm going to start doing some landscaping. So I didn't want to do too much natural looking landscaping because I definitely thought that they would have a very manicured lawn. So I do some shrubs, and then I also use those lollipop trees that I never use because I don't know how to use them. Because for me, like, in houses, I always go the more traditional route, and so it's not perfectly manicured. Everything's very overgrown, very lush, so I never really use those trees. So when I pulled them out, I was kind of actually really happy with how they looked, especially on the side of the building. And then I used a couple more in the back as well. And then right there you saw just a little pause. I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do this landscaping, because in my head I knew that I needed quite a bit of empty grass space, because this would be a very well manicured lawn, almost like in the Princess Diaries when Mia goes to go visit her grandmother for the first time and she walks on the lawn, and then the speaker goes off in like 8 different languages to not walk on the lawn. That's kind of what I was thinking about when I pictured the grass here in this luxury resort. So I knew that I had to leave quite a bit of empty lawn space to make it look very clean and modern. So I didn't quite know exactly how to landscape it. I end up doing this little garden patch back here that you can see me building right now, and it's just one lollipop tree with a couple of rose bushes around it, and then I placed some flowers just like directly across the center. And then besides that, the rest of the area is just going to be the manicured grass. And at first I was going to use these debug what's the pack Strangerville plants, but then it's not that I didn't like them, I just thought that the colors didn't really match. So I went to go see if I could find some that just went a little bit better. And so I went with these romantic garden plants. I just thought that the colors matched the other plants better, and they were also a little bit more muted, so it matched the whole grayscale theme that I had going on back here. And then this is where I build the pond feature, or the fountain feature. So you can see where I place the door. I do end up having to move it because it won't let me place the fountain like even anywhere near the edge of the door, which it was a little frustrating because it's glass panes, so they wouldn't be walking out onto the fountain where I had placed it, but it still wouldn't let me put it there. But I put these fountains on either side of the door, and I do this really like raised up ledge to make it look as though this is like a bridge over the fountain. I don't know, I just thought it looked really cool. And I end up adding these jungle adventure plants because I knew that the massage room was going to be on the left, and I wanted them to be able to look out while they're getting their massages and see this like beautiful water garden. So I do end up adding some of the really colorful, like this one, jungle adventure plants, just to kind of give it some color and make it look a little bit nicer. And then I add some on the other side as well. And then I real quickly add a rim to the pool, and then I leave because I wasn't sure how I wanted to decorate the pool area, so I decide I'm going to ignore it. And I add another fountain up here just because I wanted to keep the Sims from walking around this side of the building. You can definitely still get around from the other side, but this side in particular, because of the garden being there, I didn't want too many Sims trying to like walk through the garden and then like just because in real life it would mess things up, and I don't think that they would be allowed to walk through that side. But yeah, so that's why I added the other pond there, kind of to direct the flow of the Sims, because they can't walk over the fountains. And then going over here, I finally figured out what I wanted to do. I remembered that spa day came with a bar, so I decided to do a little juice bar area out here. And I placed some more giant windows just to give it some symmetry, I guess. And then I end up doing some of these base game outdoor tables. I was a little annoyed we didn't get any with spa day that matched the bar. I thought that that was a little bit of a missed opportunity, but I used the chairs from spa day, so it works out okay. And then I also add some lawn chairs over here, the ones from Eco Lifestyle, just because those are a little bit more modern, a little bit sleeker. I thought that they matched better. And then I place some tables in between them as well, so that way all of the lounging people have a place to put their drinks or their lemonades and stuff like that. And then I move over to the pool and I start placing, I was going to do like 6 of the ladders, but I decided that that was a bit excessive, so I just did 1 on each side. And then I end up making the bottom of the pool the black and white flooring from Get Together, and then I just do like a white tile on the sides. I don't always fill in like the flooring and the walls of my pool, but I thought that that tile on the floor looked really nice, so I decided to keep it. And then I place flowers on each individual table. I always do this when I have outdoor tables because I feel like they just look so empty, and I don't like how empty they look, so I always try and just fill them up just a little bit more. And then I do end up doing a little seating area over here in the corner. I was originally going to do just 1 long bench, but I do end up doing 2 separate ones, kind of right by the flower area, just to kind of break it up and give people a little area to sit and relax. And I thought maybe after they had gone into the pool, they could come sit over here and just relax by the fountains, or if they were waiting for a massage, they could come sit out here until their name was called for their massage. And then I do add one of the Eco Lifestyle wall decorations. I use those a lot in this build. I am going to warn you guys. I repeat some of them, but never in the same color. I just thought that those in particular worked so well with this style and with this build and the whole luxury spa feel. I really thought that those worked the best. And then now we're going into the floor plan. So this is where I'm going to stop the voiceover, because you don't really need to hear me talk about the floor plan because you guys can see what's going on. So just so you know, we do end up with a gym, a sauna, 2 locker rooms, a separate bathroom, a massage room, a meditation room, and a bathroom. Not a bath. Well, it is a bathroom, but it's not a bathroom. It's for the mud baths that we get from spa day. So those are all the rooms that we end up with, but I am going to leave you guys here, so I hope you all have an amazing day. And if you like this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all on Wednesday for the second half of this build. Bye!